thing with this new job. Last year, predominantly my time was spent in my new job, getting to grips with it, working outside, learning new things, and getting the livestock into a position where I was happy with the health and the welfare. This year, hopefully I want to reclaim some of my time and be back here a lot more. So at least once a month, I think I'm going to try and get up here at least twice for a camping trip in March, and maybe put some work parties together. The two main projects I want to do today is I want to get some bulbs in, mega late, but better than never. And I also want to start working on some bramble clearance at the lookout where the nuttery is, because I want to get those nut trees in this year. The one thing I am realising is I am one person. This is a lot of land. I'm just watching my dog go crazy. I need to probably pull back on how much I'm trying to do. So I'm going to concentrate on just a few things this year: the pond restoration and the lookout, and getting the nuttery ready. But obviously the ongoing stuff will also be all the things with the wildlife and the conservation aspects too. So let's have a little tour. We'll check in on a few projects and we'll just enjoy the farm on this February day. Well, here's our lookout, and actually that's quite nice to see that where I've cut everything back, it hasn't come back too much. It was probably cut back a couple of times last year, and while it's dead, it's alright. I left these teasels in because I wanted them to seed. Very pretty. And then most of this is just weeds, but actually it's much better than it was last year. This will have a good old rake. This is carpet that I used to carpet and curtains I used to kind of suppress some of the weeds. But a lot of this can just be raked off in the spring, probably in March. And then here is our pit. Everything in the winter looks so crikey. You can see how dry it is. This is normally a pond, so almost the entire farm drains into this end of the pit. And this is normally a natural pond at this time of year, and that tyre is normally, you can't see it because it's under the water level. That's quite shocking actually. I'm surprised because with all the rain we've had over the past few weeks, and actually this winter, I'm surprised the lack of rain. And I think it shows how little rain we had last year, and how hot a summer we had and how dry a spring and summer we had. All looks very dilapidated, but give us some warm weather and that will come back into vibrant life. So the plan for down here is obviously our tropical garden and our pheasant tree and our man-made sort of waterfowl area. That's ambitious, and what I've realised is I can't do too many things at once, so I'm going to concentrate, as I said, on the pond restoration and on this lookout area. So I'm cutting back all of those brambles to make the buddleia hedge, which will go into the nursery. And then in terms of the pit and what's going to go on down there, I think for now I will just concentrate on growing the plants at home. So it has, because it's quite sheltered, it has sort of a microclimate. So I want to turn it more into a tropical garden with, you know, tropical looking, so not tropical plants because they won't survive here, but tropical looking plants. So I want to grow loads of flax, loads of really hardy palms, pampas grass, things like that. So I think what I'm going to aim to do is at home grow those and start establishing tons and tons of plants at home, where I can look after them. Also the same with trees, growing loads of little native trees at home before I bring them up here, and on the farm just focusing on a couple of projects. So let's get this straight. Bulb planting in February for spring bulbs isn't just a bit late. It's probably too late, but my thoughts when it comes to things like this is just get it done. The worst that will happen is the bulbs I put in will die. The best probably that will happen now is that they'll root and produce leaves, but they won't flower. So that's what you must remember if you're putting in bulbs really late. They won't have time to put out roots, grow leaves and bloom. So what they'll probably do is just put out roots and produce a few leaves, which will pull down energy for next year. So what I've got are some daffodils, which are going to go in the drive, so the verge up the way. Got some crocus, so lovely crocuses, so 45 crocuses, and they're going to go in the lookout. So we've obviously got this whole space here, and the lookout eventually is going to be cut all the way right to the back. There's going to be fencing along there, so you can look out over, and this is where the roses are going to go. So the rose, lavender, sage and rosemary hedge. It's going to go underneath this fence that goes all the way along here. So the crocuses I'm going to kind of put in around the periphery, and obviously over the years they'll grow and grow and grow. So that's where they're going to go. And then we've got these lovely anemone. Now I love our wild anemone anyway, but these were on offer, so I'm going to put these in. Now they need to go in a kind of a more woodland shaped place. I'm going to find a tree, which I know we're not going to disturb the soil around. I'm going to find a tree and we're going to put those underneath the tree. But for now, let's get on with planting some crocus along here. So what we're doing here is we're putting in our crocus, and I want them to be sort of as natural as possible. We're not aiming for like a nice pot display where they're in a pot and they're all crammed in together. We're going for a kind of naturalistic look across here, and then over the years they'll bulk up. Now you can see that these crocuses have already started to sprout. Now they haven't got any roots yet because they've not been in any soil, so we need to get these into the ground as quick as possible. And as I said, they may well not flower this year, they may just produce some leaves, but we'll be up over the coming weeks to check on them. So if I just collect them all in my hand, so the best way, as you've probably seen before, here's my 15 pack of crocus. The best way to get a natural look is not to place them but to throw them. So that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to put them into the ground. I'm going to throw all 45 down and then pop them in. Crocus in, so let's go and find a nice spot under a tree for those beautiful anemones. We come down to the Bluebell Grove actually. So this is the Bluebell Grove that I'm starting, and actually I had to tie Bo up because, as you can see, the road is super close and we have no fencing along here. So until the fencing's up, I don't trust. I trust Beetle, I do not trust Bo not to go anywhere. But I came down to Bluebell Grove because I thought actually putting these wild anemones in will be really nice because they'll come through and then the bluebells will come through. And look, the bluebells, which I'm surprised at, are already starting to appear. So they've already started to come up, so it's been mild enough. Here's another one, that amongst the leaf litter down here there is loads of little bluebells and beetle noses. There's one, I think there's another one here, and they are spread across this area here, and actually you can see there's quite big ones down by that tree. You can see there's some green spots. So I'm excited this year to see these bluebells. Now what I thought we'd do is we put the anemones around this tree, and then hopefully over the years they'll kind of spill out. And we're going to do exactly the same thing as I did with the crocus. We've got 45 bulbs. I'm going to throw them out, just dig them into the soil. We do have rabbits. So rabbits don't tend to eat crocus bulbs and daffodil bulbs because they're a little bit poisonous. Anemone bulbs I'm not so sure about. They haven't attacked the bluebell bulbs too much. So we'll just take a punt and we'll put them down here. Beetles are going to help clear the scene. Is she? You going to take it? No. We've got a few bluebell bulbs down here as well. So you can see there's a little bit of green there. But what we're going to do, exactly the same as before, throw out these anemone bulbs. I'll just show you what they look like. Get them out. They look like dead husks, to be fair. They don't really look like bulbs. Just drop some. Oh, here we go. So they're funny. They look like dried poo, but they are bulbs, I assure you. So let's get those in. And actually, I was going to throw them on the ground, but I fear if I throw them on the ground, I'm going to lose them in the leaf litter. So I am just going to kind of plant these where I think they look okay. Wow, and I know we had a dry summer, but I thought some of the rain might have made a difference. But if you remember, this is the edge of the pond. This whole section here is where there was water, and the water's now right over there. Obviously I planted in this section. The good thing with marginals is they do survive. So if we stop down here, so here's our yellow flag iris surviving. There's quite a lot of the water mint down here that is absolutely fine. You can see it's actually spread nicely. Our plantain is here. It looks dead obviously at the moment, but it is the winter, but the soil is wet enough that it's going to be fine. And we missed it flowering. It's had these wonderful flower bracts on it, so that's really good as well. So stuff is surviving. I can't remember where I put the water forget-me-not. It was somewhere in here somewhere, but this does all look like water marginal plants. So hopefully, with any luck, we'll have some more water, some more rain, and this water will kind of spread back out this way, because you can see it's really coming. I can't believe how much it's withdrawn. At no point the year before last, in 2017, did it kind of come back from this edge much more than this, but you can see it's really come back a lot. So one of the main things that I need to start doing is, obviously there's all of this still to clear. This tree needs to come out, and all of this bramble needs to come out, so whole round the front. Obviously we did start here, so I took down some nice trees here, and you can see they've shot back up, but I kind of like this. This is all beautiful wood that can be used for weaving. It's so nice, and actually I can even make some hedging with that. Wouldn't that be cool? Some like screens. Oh, that's quite exciting now I've thought about that. That's not a craft I've kind of looked into, but you can see just how much there is. And it's come all the way along here, and it needs to be cut back anyway, so we can continue to see across the pond. But that's really, really great. And look here as well, there's some lovely little buds. Love that. Beautiful. But yeah, getting back to the pond, obviously all of this needs clearing. You can see the patch that I've done so far. So this was a thicket that I've cleared out, and then I've cut brambles from here round to here, but you can see just how much I have to do. Well, we're here in the Wildflower meadow, and my tenant farmer has very kindly topped it for me, and he's going to continue doing that every year, because it's very nice thinking, oh yes, we'll come and scythe it, but actually it's a 2.5 acre field, and as I said earlier, there's only me and Sard and a few helpers, so we're just not going to be able to manage that. But in here is the Wildflower meadow strip that goes across here, and obviously it's too early really for all of our perennials to have got growing yet. Our trees are going down there, and then our big magnolia tree is probably going where Bo is, but a little bit further across. and then we'll obviously have the wildflower meadows around it. The buzzards, so we've got a breeding pair of buzzards, have just disappeared over the tree line, otherwise I would have shown you. But there's a bit of blue sky coming out now, which is rather pleasant. I haven't done any work yet, however I've just been walking around, so it might be time to go and do something. Let's just walk down there and visit the owl box, or the first owl box, the original, the one that we put up, and we can see what's going on with it. Now, as far as I know, we haven't actually had owls in it yet, but there's always hope. And that's the other thing is, we know there's barn owls here, but they may already have a nesting site, so we're kind of maybe waiting on another pair of barn owls to come and then start using the nest box, or tawnies, or anything that takes its fancy, really. So we'll just walk down this way. Oh, the sun's coming down, it feels nice, because it is only February still. There it is, I can see it in the tree. There's the nest box, but let's just go and have a little look underneath it, because that's where you're going to find your signs of owls. So I have one really good dog, Beetle, and I have one very naughty dog who gets a bit overexcited and disappears into other people's fields, which when you're on a farm you have to be careful about, because I don't want her getting shot. Right, we are below the nest box. It's still in good place. It's still, look at that blue sky, oh, love it. But have we got anything of interest down here? Any pellets? Not that I can see. There's a little bit of hair here, but you would expect there to be way more pellets if something was regularly visiting this area. So the final thing I'm putting in today are some daffodils, and this is the driveway. It's a good 100 to 200 metres, and I would love one day both of the banks to be filled with snowdrops in late winter, early spring. Daffodils, white daffodils. I only have 50 bulbs of daffodils to put in today, which are going to look a little bit silly in the coming years because there won't be that many. I'm going to put them in clumps of 3, 5, and I'm just going to do as big a stretch as I can. I'm probably starting here-ish and going up this way. Bo, of course, is on the lead again because she runs away. I'll probably pop her on the other side of this little brook. This is our main drainage on the farm, and it sort of drains down all the way into the pit. So I'll probably pop her over there, go and get the bulbs, and start planting them along here. Well, that's actually quite a good result. So they went further than I thought. So we started here, and then I got all the way up to the telegraph pole. So 20 metres maybe? A 20, maybe a bit less, 15 metre stretch. And they are already budding, and there are some roots in there. So I'm thinking that actually they might actually come out this year, and we might actually get some daffodil flowers. I don't know if we'll get any crocus or anemone flowers this year. I think we might get a few white daffodil flowers this year, which will be so amazing. So when we come up in March, I will update you on all of these bulb projects and see how we're getting. Now I've done the nice little bit of planting done, so I'm going to go up to the lookout again. I'm going to start cutting back those brambles. So the next job for today, and actually the final thing that I'm probably going to do when I'm up at the farm here, is start on this. Blimey, it's a lot. So this is a bramble thicket, and behind there, where that old caravan it's been there about 10 years, is going to be the nuttery, and we're going to have walnut, sweet chestnut and things like that planted in there, and I want to get those trees in this year. And then the idea will be also to have chickens roaming underneath, because chickens are actually a woodland bird, so we can have them roaming underneath. But I want to create a barrier between the lookout and the nuttery. And I want it to be a buddleia hedge. So that'd be really, really good for pollinators, bring all the wildlife in. And I want something also to replace this, because this is a massive attraction to butterflies, because all of these brambles obviously flower and then they bring tons of butterflies in. So I don't want to take out all the brambles and not replace it with anything. So I want to put in a buddleia hedge, and then in the centre I want to put one of those living willow globes, but it will actually be a tunnel, so it will lead from the lookout through to the nursery. So to do that, I need obviously to cut the brambles. Now the best way for doing brambles, if you haven't got machinery, I find, is to grab a rake, throw the rake in. You want to do it this time of year as well, when it's kind of died off. Throw a rake in and rake everything out, and then just use secateurs to cut back as far as back to the ground as you can go. It takes a long time. Don't get me wrong, this is not a quick method, but it does help you sort of tackle. So I'm just going to start tackling this section, and then with a work party probably in March we'll try, and I would like to get rid of this whole section by April, so that I can actually start putting in the buddleias. So with that said, I better actually do some work, because otherwise it's never going to get done. First ladybird of the year. How cute is that? Off you go. It's obviously warming up. Where are you going? I'm going to put her warning into the grass, so I'm not going to disturb it today. Well, thank you for joining me for the first farm vlog of the year. Really excited, and I forget sometimes how much I love this place. You know, this morning I woke up with a headache and I was thinking, oh, do I really have to go? And then I looked at the dogs and I was like, you know what, dogs want to go, and the bulbs need going in. And now I'm here, totally reinvigorated. I'll be coming up a couple of times in March. Hopefully it'll be warm enough by then. As long as we don't have any snow, it'll be warm enough to actually do a little bit of camping. So I'll probably say for 2 or 3 or possibly 4-day stretches, really get loads done. Invite a load of friends and colleagues and stuff as well to come and do some work parties and crack on, because as I say, this is the year, you know, 2019 and 2020 are the years that we want to be moving up here. So I really want to crack on and get stuff done, get fencing in, get all these projects underway. So thank you for watching the video. As always, if you've liked it, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you see the future things. It all helps to pay towards the conservation and the building of this farm by you guys watching. If you want to know a little bit more, you can join the Patreon. You'll get exclusive sort of updates, and you also get livestock insights from my job. And also, again, that all goes towards the cost of helping run this place. Patrons paid for the pond plants, and they paid for trees and all sorts. But I will see you again very, very soon for our normal smallholding diaries, and then our regular videos throughout the weeks. Bye bye for now.